Nothing we are like, Mataji, we are like.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class, ISKCON Portland. So we will start with the prayers and Mangalacharan prayers and, and also prayers to our gurus. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानो सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So dear devotees, I'm going to share my screen so that I can show you the verse what I'm going to speak today. So the verse is Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 14th chapter, 40th verse. Let us read the sloka. कश्चिन्नाभिहतो भावैः शब्दाद्भिरमङ्गलैः न दत्तमुक्तम् आर्तिभ्याशयायेत् प्रतिश्रुतम् कश्चिन्नाभिहतो भावैः शब्दाद्भिरमङ्गलैः न दत्तमुक्तम् आर्तिभ्याशयायेत् प्रतिश्रुतम् कश्चिन्नाभिहतो भावैः शब्दाद्भिरमङ्गलैः न दत्तमुक्तम् आर्तिभ्याशयायत् प्रतिश्रुतम्. Anyone wants to recite the verse? Can please proceed. Shiva Prabhu.
Kachinnavihato bhavai शब्दादीभिरमङ्गलै नदत्तं मुक्तम् अर्तिभ्य आशयायत् प्रतिश्रुतम्.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Anyone would like to read?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Tendal Pranam. Yeah.
Can I read? Jai Sri Prabhupada. Kachinna bihato bhavaha saddha dhirvir aman galaha nadattam uktam atibhyo ashiyad yat patistrutam. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Anyone would like to recite the verse?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Kachinna abhihata abhavai sabdad adibi amangala nadattam uktam artibhya ashayayat pratishrutam. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So we will actually read the synonyms. Kaschit, whether, na, could not, abhihataha, addressed by, abhavai, unfriendly, sabda adivihi, by sounds, amangalai, inauspicious, na, did not, dattam, give in charity, uktam, is said, artibhyaha, unto one who asked, ashaya, with hope, yet what, pratishrutam, promised to be paid. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, has someone addressed you with unfriendly words or threatened you? Could you not give charity to one who asked? Or could you not keep your promise to someone? Purport: a kshatriya or a rich man is sometimes visited by persons who are in need of money. When they are asked for a donation, it is the duty of the possessor of wealth to give in charity in consideration of the person, place, and time. If a kshatriya or a rich man fails to comply with this obligation, he must be very sorry for this discrepancy. Similarly, one should not fail to keep a promise to give in charity. These discrepancies are sometimes causes of despondency, and thus failing, a person becomes subjected to criticism, which might also be the cause of Arjuna's plight. So let us start our discussion. So one section was over in this chapter, the 14th chapter of, which the named as Lord Krishna's disappearance. And one section until the verses 38. The section was that when Arjuna came back from Dwaraka after a long time, Yudhishthira Maharaj was in so much of anxiety, and when he saw Arjuna, he started questioning him about the well-being of the citizens of Dwaraka, the ministers and the relatives, and etc., because he was suspecting something must have definitely gone wrong. That is why Arjuna came back after a long time, and also he could see some lamentation and and pain, some sorrowness, and in the heart of Arjuna, and he was asking so many questions, and the section was over, and another section started from 39th verse, just earlier to this verse. So this is the 40th verse and 39th verse. He was asking about, now he started asking about the well-being of Arjuna. Till now, he was not asking about the well-being of Arjuna, but this starting from 39th verse, he started asking the well-being of Arjuna, and he was asking in the earlier verse, what happened, Arjuna, to you? You lost your bodily luster. Is everything all right? What happened to you? Are you, all right, keeping a good health? And the continuation of, that is the today's present verse, and he is asking three important questions here to Arjuna. These three questions are very, very important for a Kshatriya, because he is asking, the first question is, Amangalai, Amangala Shabda, does anyone spoke Amangala words, to you? I mean, Amangala is very inauspicious words, unfriendly, inauspicious words. Shabda means words, right? So, did anyone speak with, inauspicious words with you? Or the second one is, could you not give charity to one who asked? You were, by chance, you are not able to give charity to someone who are in needy position, I mean, who are in a helpless position? That is question. And third question is, you are not able to keep up any promise in your life. Because of that, you have lost your bodily luster. Because of that, you are lamenting. And because of that, you're feeling so painful in your heart, Arjuna. Why? Because the three things are very, very important for a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is a separate class of people or men who had an acumen to protect people, and their actually prescribed duties are such that they should give charity, to people whoever in needy, and they have to keep up their promise. Once they have given a promise, they have to keep up that promise. They cannot get back to their promise. They have to carry their promise. And Kshatriyas, because see, one thing is that so many important aspects from the small purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, basically. Kshatriya by himself, the name itself mentions that Kshat means harm, and Triya means whoever protects from harm. So Kshatriya by name itself, that he has to give protection to the people who are in a helpless conditions, who requires help. So basically, see, five people are given protection, right? Brahmanas, cows, elderly people, women, and children. And charity is also very, very important. Like, it is mentioned by our acharyas that we should be satisfied with the food, whatever we get, and with the money, whatever we acquire, and with the wife or husband, we given to us by Krishna, to us, these things we should get satisfied. But the other things like, chanting, hearing, and especially charity, we should not get satisfied, because these are very important things. And Kshatriya has some prescribed duties. They have to protect people, innocent people. They have to protect. If they actually don't, do this protection, if they don't perform, if they fail to do their responsibilities towards citizens, then they are implicated in wrong actions. They are victimized for not doing this activity, because the management and organization, they have to do for people. They collect money from their subjects, from their citizens, or kings who are subordinate to them, and they actually invest that money in fulfilling the requirements of people. So this is all actually, if they don't do charity, it is considered as they are very, hard-hearted people. So the reason why he was asking the three questions means, these actually, if they don't perform these activities as a kshatriya, this brings a lot of defamation for them, dishonor for them. They will be insulted by not doing these acts. So these things are that much important, because once upon a time in the earlier days, kings are such that they are not only just kings. They're called as Raja Rishis. Raja Rishis means they are kings, at the same time they're rishis also, they're devotees of the Lord. So these are the important things. So now we will understand, because the verse itself is saying amangala. Amangala words, see, it is to be understood that if we speak anything other than Krishna Katha, other than the Leelas of the Lord, other than the pastimes of the Lord with his devotees, and gopis, and Radharani, etc. Other than this, everything else is considered as amangalai. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have some verses we are going to quote today. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, actually, it is mentioned, everybody knows this very famous verse, discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, like what we are doing every week, Sunday morning. Somebody else. Can you mute Prabhu?
Yamadevi.
Yeah. So everything inauspicious, right? So Srimad Bhagavatam, discussing Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna Katha from Srimad Bhagavatam is such an auspicious things, right? So this famous sloka we will, in this context we will recite. Nasta praye svabhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. All that is inauspicious in the heart is what is giving us trouble. Because sometimes we don't want to do any offenses, but automatically our mind is such a wicked person that it thinks of something, and it by by that actually we do commit some offenses. So by this, actually, it is troublesome to the heart. It is completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with the transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So always it is important to do mangalakara things. What gives us auspiciousness in our lives. So here it is clearly mentioned, reading Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees and taking the message into our hearts and rendering some service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and glorification of the Lord by with some songs. And all these things actually brings auspiciousness and removes what is troublesome in our hearts. Here is the remedy for eliminating inauspicious things within the heart, which are considered to be the obstacles in the path of self-realization. The remedy is association of Bhagavatas or book Bhagavatam or the person Bhagavatam. So this is what. And another important verse is coming from third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the discussion between Maitreya and Vidura was happening. So Vidura was inquiring from, see, whenever we have an opportunity with the great souls, we have to inquire, right? That is also really helps us, because by inquiring to elevated personalities, we can actually get the right knowledge, and our ears will be become auspicious, and our heart also becomes very pure and auspicious. So here, see the question of Vidura to Maitreya. I mean, request, basically, not a question, request. Oh Maitreya, oh friend of the distressed, the glories of the Supreme Lord can alone do good for people all over the world. Therefore, just as bees collect honey from flowers, kindly describe the essence of all topics of the Lord. So by this message, we can understand not only, it is the topics of the Lord is, removes all inauspicious from our hearts, but it also good. It is the general good, happens to all people. I mean, all the good is going to happen to the people. And which topics? He clearly mentioned that the topics of the Lord. So there are purport. Srila Prabhupada is very nicely saying there are many topics for different persons in different modes of material nature, but the essential topics are those in relation with the Supreme Lord, right? So that is more important. So that is why pure devotees like Vidura, the topics of both mundaners and the mental speculators are useless in all respects. For devotees like Vidura, the other topics are very useless in all respects. That Vidura requested Maitreya to talk of the essence only, not the talks of Krishna, the talks of Krishna, not the nothing else. He is saying, and also I'm going to do this. Just give me a second. And also, another important verse I want to quote from Srimad Bhagavatam is that very, very important and very, very attractive verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, the 31st chapter, where gopis sing Gopi Geet. In that, gopis are very transparent, very innocent. They don't have knowledge of scriptures or anything. They have very, very innocent love for Sri Krishna, but still they were actually speaking as this verse, Tava kadhamrutam tapta jivanam kavibiridhitam kalmashapaham श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. So they are saying, the nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. Such a beautiful verse, such a beautiful verse. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most beneficent. So this is such a wonderful message given by Gopis himself, when they were separated from Krishna from in the Rasa Leela. And this verse actually spoken, this Gopi Gita was spoken by even Pratapa Rudra Maharaja to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? When the Radha Yatra was happening, Pratap Rudra Maharaja was actually not given an opportunity to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So upon the recommendation of other devotees, the mercy of other devotees, he was given an opportunity to serve Pratap Rudra Maharaja when he was actually taking rest in the Jagannath Vallabha gardens when the Radha Yatra was going on. So, Prataprudra Maharaja, when he was gently massaging the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started reciting Gopi Gita. And when Prataprudra Maharaja came to this verse of, Tavakadhamrutam Tapta Jivanam verse, then immediately after reciting that verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up suddenly and embraced, Prataprudra Maharaja, and he became ecstatic, and he became transcendental, and he repeatedly asked Pratap Maharaj to continue, repeat that verse, please read it again, please recite it one more time, please recite it one more time, please recite it one more time. So he was hearing that, he became so, but here Pratap Maharaj, just by reciting this verse, he has become the favorite of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he had become fortunate to actually to be hugged, to be embraced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is such a fortunate soul, right? So this is the basically the among Mangalakaram, always auspicious, right? So on the contrary to that, he was asking, is something happened? Somebody has spoken inauspicious words towards you, Arjuna. That is what. But because always speaking about Krishna Kada always brings auspiciousness in everyone's life. And next, what I wanted to refer to is that in the purport, there are so many things, of course, purport. So we have discussed about the Mangalakare was the first sentence now. In the second sentence, he was asking, did you fail to give charity? Because charity is very important. Charity is very important for, charity is very important, but only thing is we should understand when we have to give charity. It is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, of course, in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that it is very important to give charity at a right place, right to a right person at a right time. Right, so that is more important. It's not that charity, because we have to give charity, we give, just we give money, and it is considered as charity. No, it is not like that. We should not misutilize our money also. In the 17th chapter, actually, 22nd verse is, and 23rd verse, 28th and 21st and 22nd verse are explaining about different kinds of charity. In the 20th verse, it is said, Datavyam iti yaddanam diyate anupakarine dese kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. Charity given out of duty, without expectation of return, at the proper time and place, and to a worthy person is considered to be the charity in the mode of goodness. So very nicely given by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So proper time, proper place, and a worthy person, without expectation of any return, and out of duty. So everybody, see, Kshatriya, it is a prescribed duty for Kshatriya to give charity, to protect people, right? To keep up their promise, all these things. So what is the basic, in the Vedic literature, charity is given to a person in spiritual activities. So when we have to choose, when we give charity, whom should we give? Charity given to a person who is engaged in spiritual activities is more recommended. There is no recommendation for giving charity indiscriminately. Spiritual perfection is always a consideration. Therefore, charity is recommended to be given at a place of pilgrimage. So the place, Srila Prabhupada is explaining the purport, that place means it is a holy place. It should be a holy place, pilgrimage. Of course, wherever Krishna is there, wherever Radha Krishna are served, that is also considered as a pilgrimage, and at a lunar or solar eclipses. So that is the time at the end of the month, or to a qualified Brahmana or a Vaishnava devotee in the temples. So these are the so, and it should be given without any consideration of return. We should not expect any return from them. Charity to the poor also given sometimes out of compassion. But if poor person is not worth giving charity to, then there is no spiritual advancement. I mean, we should see the qualification also. If he misuses the charity given by us, then it's again, a reaction. We have to face reaction, and it is not, beneficial for their spiritual advancement. So that is the charity in goodness, basically. And charity in a mode of passion. Yato prachupakarartham phalam uddisya va punaha diyate cha pariklikshat Pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smritam. What is the charity in rajasam? The charity performed with the expectation of some return or with desire for fruitive results. I mean, if we give charity, then we get it. No, that should not be the, attitude. Or in a grudging mood is said to be charity in the mode of passion. So, charity is sometimes performed for elevation to the heavenly kingdom and sometimes with great trouble and with repentance words. Why I have spent so much in this way? Charity is also sometimes given under some obligation at the request of a superior. These kinds of charity are said to be given in the mode of passion, not voluntary, charity, and also with an intention, expectation of getting heavenly planets, going to heavenly planets, with some trouble in the heart, with repentance, what we have, given for charity earlier, and these things are considered to be in the mode of passion. And what is the charity in mode of, ignorance? Adeshakale yaddanam apatrebhyascha diyate asatkratam avajnatam tattamasamudruhat udruhtam. And charity performed at an impure place, at an improper time, to unworthy persons or without proper attention and reject and respect is said to be in the mode of ignorance. And charity performed at an impure place, improper time, and to unworthy persons without proper attention and respect. So, what is the explanation is given by Srila Prabhupada in the purports, of course. Contributions for indulgence in intoxication and gambling are not encouraged here. Suppose if we give charity to someone and they engage in the intoxication and gambling, that is not a good charity. This sort of contribution is in the mode of ignorance. Such charity is not beneficial, rather sinful persons are encouraged. Similarly, if a person gives charity to a suitable person but without respect and without attention, that sort of charity is also said to be in the mode of darkness. We should have respect to whom we are giving charity, right? So that is also. So these are wonderfully explained in the Bhagavad Gita, 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Regarding this charity, okay, I want to quote a wonderful example from Srimad Bhagavatam given by Srila Prabhupada in one of the purports of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th, first canto, 12th chapter and 28th verse. When Parikshit Maharaj was born, then Yudhishthira Maharaj showing his horoscope to the Brahmanas priests. Then actually it is mentioned in the translation, the verse number 12 translation, it is mentioned that this child, Parikshit Maharaj, will be a munificent donor of charity and protector of the surrendered. See how important, right? Giving charity, otherwise, the child itself is not considered an auspicious child, because they're emphasizing on the fact, the priest, that regarding Parikshit Maharaj, he will be such a munificent donor of charity and protector of the surrendered. These two things are very important as Kshatriya. And they are also mentioning that, like the famous King Sibi of the Ushnara country. So the Sibi Maharaj is there, and he was very, very famous for his charity. So the Prabhupada is saying that a king becomes famous by his acts of charity, performances of yajna, protection of the surrendered. A Kshatriya king is proud to give protection to the surrendered souls, right? Like how we surrender, Krishna asks Arjuna to surrender, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. These Kshatriyas are also, Krishna protects, right? When somebody surrendered to Krishna, how Krishna protects? Like somebody surrenders to saintly kings, in the earlier days, then they offer every protection to the surrendered souls. So that is why, because they have this attitude, Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport that the kings are called as Ishvara Bhava. Their attitude is called as Ishvara Bhava, then the protecting mode. They have the intention to protect, right? So it is called Ishvara Bhava, or factual power to give protection in a righteous cause. Just like how, Krishna says, if you surrender unto me, I will actually protect you in all ways. So King, like how Lord is all powerful, being representative of the Lord, the kings were also very, very, powerful. So they have a capacity, they have an acumen actually to protect, their subjects. So in regards to this, actually, Maharaja Shibi was an intimate friend of Yayati, of course, and Yayati and also Maharaja Shibi went back to the heavenly planet, where actually Yamaraja lives, and they have become one of the members of the assembly of the Maharaja Yamadharmaraj, Yamadharma Raja. And Maharaja Shibi, but actually he has become a great associate of Yamaraj, of course, in the heavenly planet. But while he was on the earthly planet, he became very famous as a protector of surrendered souls and a donor of charities. Once upon a time, what happened? Because the Indra, the king of heaven, and also the lord of Agni wanted to test Shibi. Then Indra had taken a pigeon, pigeon shape, and Agni, the heavenly king, he had taken a pigeon hunter bird eagle. The Indra had become an eagle who eats actually pigeon, and the fire god Agni took a shape of pigeon. Then the pigeon, while being chased by the eagle, he took shelter of on the lap of Maharaja Shibi. So that pigeon, out of fear from eagle, it went on the lap of the Sibi, and the hunter eagle actually wanted to pigeon back from the king. So it was trying to actually take out the pigeon for as a food. So the king wanted to give it some other mate to eat and requested the bird not to kill the pigeon. The hunter bird refused to accept the king's offer, but it was settled later on that the eagle would accept flesh from the body of the king of the pigeon's equivalent weight. The king began to cut flesh from his body to weigh in the balance equivalent to the weight of the pigeon, but the mystic pigeon always remained heavier because these are not actual pigeon and natural eagle. And the Lord Indra and Agni, the Lord of Agni came over there to test the king. Then what happened finally? How much of the flesh he was actually putting on the equivalent weight? I mean, on the that weighing mission, but it is not getting equivalent actually. So the eagle, the pigeon is become heavier and heavier and heavier. So finally, what happened? Shibi Maharaja, such a great personality, he put himself on the balance to equate with the pigeon. The demigods were pleased with him then. So he actually did not bother to even sacrifice his body, total body, and take out his life also, right? So they don't actually the Kshatriyas are very brave, and they don't even hesitate, to sacrifice their lives also. They do actually charity at the cost of their own self body, basically. So then actually the king of the heaven and the fire god disclosed their identity, and the king was blessed, definitely. And even Devarshi Narada also glorified Maharaja Sibi for his great achievements, and specifically in charity and protection. So this is a very wonderful story which I want to share with all of you, because it really melted my heart. And moreover, I will just go to the in the earlier verse, like it is mentioned, 19th verse of the same chapter. The Brahmana says, "O son of Pruta," I mean they were talking to Yudhishthira Maharaj, "this child Parikshit Maharaj shall be exactly like King Ikshvaku Manu, and who were actually following the Brahmanical principles." So giving protection to Brahmanas, earlierly in the beginning of my discussion, we discussed, right? So giving protection to the Brahmanas, cows, etc., very very important, right? So King Maharaja Parikshit is such a wonderful example also, that he is not only he will be giving protection to his citizens and charity to the citizens, and also to he very very perfect in following the Brahmanical principles, especially in being true to his promise, like Lord Ramachandra. See how many examples we have, right? Very wonderful examples given here, actually. Parikshit Maharaj, if you could discuss Parikshit Maharaj, he got the curse, right, from the Brahmana Bai. He has every right and he has every opportunity to counter curse that particular boy or come out of the curse. But did he come out of his curse? No. He sacrificed his complete life, right? He decided to die, after 7 days, right? For that, he actually, engaged himself in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And regarding Ramachandra, one thing I want to mention from the purport that when he was just a boy, he helped, of course, Vishwamitra in killing Subahu and striking away Marichi. Because Marichi was not killed, he was struck away somewhere. So the two demons who are disturbing the sages in their discharge of prescribed duties like performing yajnas and all that. And here one point is very, very nice I want to mention is the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are meant to cooperate for the welfare of the mass of the people. So there is such a wonderful, nice coordination between Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. Once in the earlier, stage in the earlier yugas, the Brahmana sages endeavor to enlighten the people by perfect knowledge. Brahmanas give perfect knowledge, and the Kshatriyas meant for their protection. See how such a nice coordination, right? Lord Ramachandra is the ideal king for maintaining and protecting the highest culture of humanity, known as Brahmanya Dharma. The Lord is specifically the protector of the cows and the Brahmanas, and hence he enhances the prosperity of this world. He rewarded the administrative demigods by effective weapons to conquer the demons through the agency of Vishwamitra. So Lord Ramachandra has also done, he's very, very a replica of, Maryada Purushottama. He's such a saintly king, and he actually showed an example to all the people, right? And if we come, in case of Lord Ramachandra, now we have come in, we are discussing both, charity and also the keeping up of the promise. It's because in today's verse, actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj had been asking Arjuna that, are you not, have you not kept your promise up to anyone? It's because it's considered as a very, it's a wrong action, actually. It gives a lot of, implications in their life. So in case of Lord Ramachandra, how he had kept his promise, right? To keep the promise to his father intact. This is again the Srimad Bhagavatam 9th canto. Lord Ramachandra immediately gave up the position of king and accompanied by his wife. See, for that matter, actually, Dashrath Maharaj, right? He had given some boons to his wife Kaikeyi long, 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 long back ago. But Kaikeyi, requested for these boons exactly when the proper time came, right? She requested Lord Dashrath Maharaj that, to make Bharat, incarnate Bharata as a king, and, send Lord Ramachandra for 14 years of exile, right? Even though it was, heartbreaking situation for Dashrath Maharaja, but still, actually, he has agreed for that, and he kept up his word, what he had given to his, wife Kaikeyi, even though it is giving him a lot of pain in his heart, but he still ordered Lord Ramachandra, to go to forest for 14 years, and Lord Ramachandra, to keep up the promise to his father, he immediately gave up his position of king, and he accompanied by his wife. He wandered from one forest to another on his lotus feet, which were so delicate that they were unable to bear even the touch of Sita's palms. So that is the delicacy of the lotus feet of the Lord, right? So that's why gopis also, always. Gopis also says in Gopi Gita, even if you keep, your lotus feet on our breasts, but we are still, worried that, your feet would be hurt. So your feet would be hurt. So Lord's lotus feet are such a beautiful, delicate, wonderful, smooth. I don't know, but I'm by these things. I'm just trying to understand. And Lord was accompanied by Hanuman and also Lakshmana, to give him relief from, his fatigue during wandering in the forest, right? So this is very painful. And in the 8th verse of, 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, carrying out the order of his father, who was bound by a promise to his wife, Lord Ramachandra left behind his kingdom opulence, friends, well-wishers, residence, and everything else, just as a liberated soul gives up his life and went to the forest with Sita. Maharaja Dashratha had 3 wives. One of them, Kaikeyi, served him very pleasingly, and he therefore wanted to give her benediction. Kaikeyi, however, said that she would ask for the benediction when it was necessary. At the time of coronation of Prince Ramachandra, Kaikeyi requested her husband to enthrone her son Bharata and send Ramachandra to the forest. Maharaja Dashratha, being bound by his promise as a Kshatriya, ordered Ramachandra to go to the forest according to the dictation of his beloved. And the Lord, as an obedient son, accepted the order immediately. See, Lord Ramachandra can do anything. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. But, in See, what to speak of ourselves, right? He just kept his promise given to his father, right? He left everything without any hesitation, just in a moment's time, because he's a liberated person, just like a liberated, yogi. He just left, because he doesn't have any material attraction for anything, because Lord himself is very opulent. He's an Aishwarya. But in human like pastimes, he's showing us an example, right? And moreover, another important thing we have to notice is that when everyone, like, Bharata, the administrators, the ministers of, Ayodhya, all the citizens, his subjects, and all his three moms, including Kaikeyi, who definitely must have realized by that time, begged, Lord Ramachandra to come back and rule the kingdom, Ayodhya. But no one came. But Lord Ramachandra, he just kept his, he was just trying to keep up his word, what had been given to his father. He never, came back, right? He never came back. Only at the end he came back, right? After completing 14 years of exile, then only he came back, right? So this is very, very nice message for all of us. Like, Kshatriyas basically has to do this. And then I'm going to another one, like, the another thing, like, Bali Maharaj, right? How Bali Maharaj was actually donating everything to the Lord, right? So initially, Bali Maharaj is very, very famous for charity. And also, of course, he gives protection to his subjects and everything, right? So when Lord Vamanadev, came with an intention actually to destroy, of course, Bali. But even though he was warned by his own spiritual master Sukracharya, because Sukracharya will tell him, see, he understood everything that, Lord Vamaldev is none other than the Supreme Lord, and he came with some intention to, destroy Bali Maharaj. He warned also his disciple, but, even despite having the instruction from his own spiritual master, he never hesitated to donate. Even though he might be also knowing that, he is none other than the, Supreme Personality of Godhead, he came forward to actually give charity to the Lord, right? So when two steps were over by Lord, because Lord Vaman, they asked for only 3 steps, and when 2 steps are over by keeping 1 step on the lower planet systems and 1 step on the upper planet system, everything was over. And what is left? What is left, right? Then he is saying, O king, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead was superficially seen to have acted mischievously towards Bali Maharaja, this is 8th canto, 22nd chapter. Bali Maharaja was fixed in his determination. Considering himself not to have fulfilled his promise, he spoke as follows, because, he was actually lamenting because 2 steps are over, nothing left except himself. He is a Bali Maharaj is an example of Navavidha Bhakti, one of the Navavidha Bhakti processes, right? Atma Nivedanam, right? Atma Nivedanam, manas, by words, mind, and by body. All right. So what Bali Maharaj is saying, oh, best of the personality of Godhead. He was speaking with the Supreme Lord Sri Vishnu. Oh, best of the personality of Godhead, most worshipable for all the demigods. If you think that my promise has become false, I shall certainly rectify matters to make it truthful. Because in the last chapter, at the end of the chapter, how do you actually keep up your promise? He asks Lord Vishnu, everything is over from you. So what are you going to do now? So he's saying, if you think that my promise has become false, I shall certainly rectify matters to make it truthful. I cannot allow my promise to be false. So this is the great attitude, of Kshatriya. I'm not actually talking about the present condition, but once upon a time in the earlier stages, saintly rishis, I am talking about the saintly kings, So they were actually, sacrificing everything to keep up their promise. Please, he says, please, therefore, place your third lotus footstep on my head. Bali Maharaja could understand the pretense of Lord Vamandev. It is not that he didn't understand. If we were in Bali Maharaja's situation, then I would have at least, I take myself, I would have fought. Like, why did you cheat me like this? Why are you doing this to me? But Maharaja Bali, as a pure devotee of the Lord, who had taken the side of the demigods. I mean, God had taken side of the demigods. He is in a Daitya family. Even though he's a devotee and a grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, but he could be able to understand the pretense of Lord Vamandev, who had taken the side of demigods and come before him as a beggar. Although the Lord's purpose was to cheat him, Bali Maharaja took pleasure in understanding how the Lord will cheat his devotee to glorify the devotee's position. Now, all the compassion, all the support goes to Bali Maharaj only, because everyone knows that Bali is a very great, wonderful devotee of the Lord, and Lord is actually cheating Bali Maharaja. But why do Lord cheat his own devotees, right? This point, how many devotees are able to understand? I cannot even understand in my life that Lord is actually whatever Lord will do in our lives is for our good only. That kind of understanding, it is hard to get basically. But Vali Maharaja took pleasure in getting cheated by the Lord himself, because he understands that Lord cheats his devotee to glorify the devotee's position. It is said that God is good. So whenever whether he cheats or he rewards, he's always good. God is good. So Bali Maharaja therefore addressed him as Uttama Sloka. In this same verse, he's called as Uttama. He addresses actually the Lord as Uttama Sloka. Your Lordship, he said, you are always praised with the best of selected verses, Lord. On behalf of the demigods, you disguised yourself to cheat me, saying that you wanted only 3 pieces of land, but later you expanded your body to such an extent that with 2 steps you covered the entire universe, because you were working on behalf of your devotees. You do not regard this as cheating. Never mind. I cannot be considered as a devotee. Nonetheless, because although you are the husband of goddess of fortune, you have come to me to beg. I must satisfy you to the best of my ability. So please do not think that I wanted to cheat you. I must fulfill my promise. I still have my body. When I place my body for your satisfaction, please put your third step on my head. So this is the humble prayer of Bali Maharaja, really touched my heart. Since the Lord had covered the entire universe with 2 steps, one might ask how Bali Maharaja's head could be sufficient for his third step. Right? This is a wonderful question. Srila Prabhupada's property is so good. Bali Maharaja, however, thought that the possessor of the wealth must be greater than the possession. Possessor of the wealth must be greater than the possession. Therefore, although the Lord had taken all his possessions, the head of the Bali Maharaja, the possessor, would provide adequate place for the Lord's third step. Very nicely explained, right? So, this is the story of the charity of Bali Maharaja and Sibi Chakravarti, and these are all very, very nice, famous pastimes. And and another king I want to also mention, just give me a second. Did I miss any points? I'm just, taking. So another thing I want to mention is such that, the example of Maharaja Prudu Maharaj, who is also a very greatly saintly king, and, very great, wonderful personality. He was once upon a time, he was actually glorified by the professional reciters. And in that, I am taking some verses very, very beautifully described about the prescribed duty of a Kshatriya, and also, about their how they follow their religious principles, and all protection, how they give protection. And this is from Canto 4, Chapter 16. This King Maharaja Prutu is the best amongst those who are following the religious principles. As such, he will engage everyone in the pursuit of religious principles and give those principles all protection. So they will not only protect the religious principles by actually engaging everyone in the pursuit of religious principles, they are giving protection to their citizens also. Protection Kshatriya, saintly king, means it's not protecting from their wounds, like Kshatriya by name, wounds or harm or anything from harm or anything like that. But it is also that they have to make sure their subjects, take up the process of devotional service and get advanced spiritually. So he will also be a great chastiser to the irreligious and atheistic people. The duty of the king or the head of the government is described very nicely in this verse. It is the duty of the governmental head to see that people strictly follow a religious life. A king should also be strict in chastising the atheists. In other words, an atheistic or godless government should never be supported by a king or governmental chief. So this is what it is mentioned. And also, Another glorification of Maharaja Prudu is that this king alone in his own body will be able in due course of time to maintain all living entities and keep them in a pleasant condition by manifesting himself at different demigods to perform various departmental activities. Hmm? And yeah, so, and in the due course of time, he will also maintain this earthly planet by discharging proper rainfalls. That is also King Pruth's glories are actually I cannot describe in my one of the mouths because he's an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's an empowered personality, and he did actually very wonderful acts. For the best of for the benefit of his subjects. He's as powerful as the sun god. He equally distributes sun everywhere. Like King Prudu also will distribute his mercy equally, like how the sun god equally distributes the sunshine to everyone. He is also equally distributes his mercy. Similarly, as the sun god evaporates water for 8 months during the rainy season, returns it profusely. This king will also exact taxes from the citizens and returns those monies in times of need. So he helps his citizens by collecting taxes and on a right time from his subordinate kings and everyone, and he gives to the needy people, right? So this is a perfect example of taking care of giving charity to the people. And also he's very King Prutu is very kind to all his citizens. Even though a poor person may trample over the king's head by violating the rules and regulations, the king out of his causeless mercy will be forgetful and forgiving. So that quality should also be there for the kshatriyas, forgetful and forgiveness. As a protector of the world, he will be tolerant as the earth itself. He has a lot of tolerance also. Um, um, so when there is rainfall, when there is no rainfall, when citizens are in danger, when there are in a scarcity of water, this personality is able to supply, rains exactly like the heavenly, like heavenly king like Indra. That is not possible in the present situation in Kali Yuga, right? Because nobody is not that empowered spiritual personality to rule maintain the kingdom nowadays. But at that time, actually, since kings are saintly people, they have that power also that they will be able to supply without the help of Indra, without taking any support from Indra. They will be able to do that. So then, thus he will very easily be able to protect the citizen from the drought also. So like these, so many examples from Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see that, what we can understand, what is the actually prescribed duty of, Kshatriyas. So I'm just going to present a verse. So I think we have discussed enough today regarding three things only mentioned, today's verse, and we have actually pointed out the three things from the Srimad Bhagavatam canto. And yes, dear devotees, I just tried my level best to discuss this small verse. But even though it is a small verse, it has many angles of vision we could be able to see, because it's all about Srila Prabhupada, how he actually translates it and how he actually gives his commentary, makes us understand so many things. So here, see, Arjuna is in the battle. This is all happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Gita Upadesham happened, but the expectation from Arjuna to Krishna was such that he should not be cowardice or something like that. He has to fight, right? So as a Kshatriya, we can understand, and from Arjuna's point of view also, he has some responsibilities. He has some prescribed duties. So he has to, when actually the situation comes, even though without having any attachment towards his own kinsman, he has to fight on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So that is also I remembered when I read Bhagavad Gita. I want to end my discussion over here. It is 8:55, and yes, devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Today I don't see Jai Sachinandra Prabhu here. He might be traveling. So if you want to, share anything from what I discussed, or any points you want to add, any points, you're most welcome to please do that. Otherwise, we can end the call now. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for a nice lecture. You covered multiple points, especially the Mangala and the charity aspects. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Maybe Anita, we are not able to hear anything. No, we are not able to hear anything. Thank you, Paramakarina Prabhu. Thank you, devotees. Then we can maybe end the call. Naratamilas Prabhu, you want to end the call?
Srimati, yeah. Thanks, Srimati, for the wonderful.
Sorry, Anita, I'm not able to hear anything. Your voice is anybody able to hear Anita Mataji's voice? No, right?
How about now, Mataji?
Now I can hear.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So thank you so much. It was a very beautiful class, very rasik. And we discussed the pastimes of all these wonderful personalities like Maharaj Sibi, Lord Ramachandra, Prithu Maharaj, and Pali Maharaj, and whatnot. Parikshit Maharaj. Very nice, Mataji. It's like he spanned over multiple cantos of Bhagavatam. Very, very nice to hear. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much for your kind, encouraging words. I can say thank you so much.
Hey, Srimati, thank you so much. Yes, echo all the devotees' statements. Wonderful, beautiful class, Mati. He took each and every point and then expanded on that from different passions of Srimad Bhagavatam, which shows how wonderfully and delicately you read Srimad Bhagavatam and relationship with Bhagavatam, Mati. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all your encouraging words, Prabhuji. I really appreciate. So, Jai Session Prabhu is not there. Shall we conclude the session, Prabhuji?
Sure, Mati. Yes, we can do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you, everyone. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.